cannot get this under control.
No, I mean, the last I heard is that because there was like 4 major fires raging right now, and one of them is 30% contained and all the other 3 are 0% contained. They just cannot. And they don't have the water to fight it. They don't have the resources they need to fight it. Their budgets were cut. Like everything has been mismanaged about this from start to finish. I mean, it's unbelievable.
The person in charge is a lesbian. And that,
right.
That's super important, right?
It is important. In fact, we have a little clip about just how important this is. I mean, we played the video yesterday, but there's even more. Like the links and the production value of all of the things that they did. Even their orientation program for new firefighters was like this.
We are hosting our new employee orientation, and our focus is to teach our new employees for them to understand cultural competency, identify implicit and unconscious bias, and be aware of the importance of us having a diverse and inclusive workforce.
Diversity is important because the different people bring different lenses to their job, and those different ideas, those different lenses are important to have the best practices for our industry.
Or just maybe fight fire.
Yeah, maybe that's what you should be doing, is fighting fire.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of blue, just hugely blue Democrats that are in California right now going, what have we done? You know what I mean?
So.
I hope so too. That are really rethinking that their votes. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's because, you guys, what a complete nightmare this is. Now, I mean, there are also people like, I don't know if you have the tweet or not, like Bernie Sanders was trying to blame this on climate change and then wondering where Trump was.
Right.
And it's like, and Democrats are doing that. It's like Trump isn't president right now. Mm-hmm. He didn't do this. And I know we have clip upon clip of him asking Gavin Newsom, like, when he's going to take care of this kind of stuff. Like forest management is something that he should have been in charge of. He should have been taking care of. He hasn't done that. He's just standing there with his hands, in his pants, looking at the fires like that. Dude, I just, what an incompetent jerk this guy is.
Oh yeah. And we've got clips of him too that will just make your blood boil. But first we do need to remind everybody, because I think we've only mentioned them one time, and this is a sponsor of our show. It's OneSkin. Now I'm just going to start out by saying it's a brand new year. And why not start fresh with some amazing new skincare products? I don't know about you, but like in my shower, and my husband always screams at me about this, I have like 72 different kinds of shampoo and conditioner. Because okay, good. It's not just me. Because I always feel like your hair gets tired of the same products over and over again. And that is how I feel about skincare too. So you may love your skincare. We've used the same skincare forever and we've loved it. But also I feel like you need to change things up a bit and try new things. And OneSkin is the coolest thing. Let me tell you a little bit about this company. First of all, it was founded in 2016 by an all-woman team of scientists. And I'm not trying to be all like DEI on you here, but when I say it was designed by women scientists, it matters because women understand women's skin better than men understand women's skin, right? Yeah, because they have women's skin.
Yeah.
So they're all PhDs in skin regeneration, stem cell biology, immunology, and bioinformatics. And they tested over 900 different kinds of anti-aging peptides until they found one. They developed one called the OS01 peptide, which is the first ingredient ever to reverse your skin's biological age by reducing the accumulation of senescent cells, which is one of the big drivers of your skin aging. So they have this whole line of sunscreens, which we've talked about, of skincare for your face, but also for your body. I have been loving this cleanser that they have because it's so light. It's not like one of those cleansers that you feel like you have to rinse your face for 7 years to get it all off. I don't even get it because like I'll put it on and I'll feel like it's not like super lathery, but it removes makeup and you can just tell that your face is clean immediately. And it rinses off like lickety split. I love the body lotion.
I do too. That stuff is bomb. Yeah.
It's so light and not greasy, and it just moisturizes so well. They've got such fantastic products. And of course, with our code CHICKS at oneskin.co, you will save 15%. It's 15% at oneskin.co with code CHICKS. And then if you buy something after you make the purchase and you use the code and you get your discount, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you, and invest in the health and longevity of your skin. I'm telling you, it's just like hair. When your hair gets tired of something, you just use different stuff. You mix it up a little bit. That's what we're doing with OneSkin. Visit oneskin.co and use code CHICKS to save 15%.
Do it.
Do it. All right. More about this DEI stuff. There was also a DEI bureau, a fire department DEI bureau that was created because that's what matters, again, to the LAFD. Listen to this news story.
Our department is launching its first ever Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Bureau. It is dedicated to ensuring a fair and equal workplace environment.
Eyewitness News reporter Christian Cordero is live in North Hollywood with more on what it entails and why it's necessary. Christian?
Ellen, Colleen, the discrepancies are stark, even just on paper. The LAFD this year hired its first ever female chief, and it says so far this year, 8% of its applicants have been women. That might sound like a small number, but it's actually twice the percentage of female firefighters currently in the department. Every day, the LAFD is called upon to respond to crises, and today it is taking a step to resolve one of its own. The department's first ever Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Bureau will launch in January, 1 year since its first ever female fire chief, Kristen Crowley, was appointed.
So by creating this new bureau, our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Bureau, now we actually have the staff to do the work when it comes to doing a deep dive in regard to how we do business, how we take care of one another in the fire stations and in our work environment.
The plan is to do so by adding training and enforcing accountability. Calls for accountability have echoed for years. In 2021, women's advocacy groups, including one representing female firefighters, pushed for changes at the highest level, saying a system within the department exposes them to abuse, bullying, and a culture of intimidation and retaliation.
I can't.
They're just not accountable for having water for fires.
It's just
that it's astounding, isn't it? I mean, it's just staggering to watch this crap.
The priorities are just incredible. And then I know, like, it's been years, but I know that we've written on our website, chicksontheright.com, about different standards that fire departments set to employ either women or male firefighters, right? And so I don't want some 5'1", 125-pound female firefighter being the one that's going to have to get my husband out of a 3rd-story house.
Right.
Okay. That makes no sense. And when they lower the physical requirements for women, it's the people who suffer for that. I can't believe that this is not just, how is this not obvious?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, it's become obvious if they've obviously focused on DEI, and we're seeing how that pans out right now. We're seeing it.
Yeah.
It's 24/7 on the news, you guys. We're seeing it. California is burning.
Yeah.
We're seeing how that works out.
And there's no one like Megyn Kelly to just summarize how stupid this entire thing is. No one cares about the fire chief's sexuality.
No.
And here is Megyn to absolutely go off about it.
Gives a shit if the fire chief is gay.
Nope.
I'm sorry, but who gives a flying fig about who she likes to sleep with? Can you fight the fucking fires, madam? That's the relevant question. We don't care about your lady parts, and we don't care who you want having access to them.
Yeah.
Can you fight fires? Can you make sure there's water in the fire hydrants? When you realize in Ventura County, this is a massive problem. When you realize that California is going through a drought where they haven't had rain in weeks and months, I don't care who turns you on. And you know why they have only 100 women in a squad of 3,300? Because women tend to be smaller and not as strong. And unless you lower the requirements to become a firefighter, most women can't pass the test. This is an absurdity. This is just like the Secret Service and what happened with Trump.
Yep.
We needed all these women in there who weren't even tall enough to protect the 6'3" president. Under this woman, Ms. Crowley, the department created a Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Bureau to train firefighters not on refilling the hydrants or what to do when they're empty, but on the importance of DEI.
Yeah, and you know what? We're mad at that chick for doing it, right? People are mad, but I mean, people voted her in. So who should we be more mad at? You know what I mean? I mean, the people, we live in a constitutional republic, y'all. I mean, it's like these people voted these jackholes in. I don't know what to say other than this. You get the government you deserve. You get the government you freaking deserve. And listen, I'm also super stoked that Ukraine, their firehouses are staffed just fine. They've got
in fact,
water.
LA sent their excess supplies to Ukraine.
Right.
So that was handy.
Ukraine is fine. And you know, there are Republicans who voted for that shit. Dan Crenshaw is one of them, by the way. Just like to point that out. He's
our best friend.
He's our BFF. Dan Crenshaw, if you're watching this, which I'm sure you are, you voted for that. Weird how he's silent about that. Yeah, but there are other Republicans who were just fine, not just Democrats, but Republicans who were just fine sending money to Ukraine for their firehouses. And they are fine with water. They're fine logistically with their firehouses. Weird how that works, isn't it?
It's just, the whole thing is maddening. And actually, it's not terribly new, this whole idea of, you know, making sure that the LA Fire Department is super diverse. It actually goes back several years. Here is Adam Carolla in a congressional hearing talking about how he tried to become an LA firefighter back in the day. And this is what happened to him.
I want to talk about my white privilege so badly. I graduated North Hollywood High with a 1.7 GPA. I could not find a job. I walked to a fire station in North Hollywood. I was 19. I was living in the garage of my family home. My mom was on welfare and food stamps. And I said, can I get a job as a fireman? And they said, no, because you're not Black, Hispanic, or a woman. Wow. We'll see in about 7 years. And I went to a construction site and dug ditches and picked up garbage for the next 7 years. I got a letter in the mail sent to my father's house saying, your time has come to do the written exam for the LA Fire Department. I took it, and I was standing in line, and I had a young woman of color standing behind me in line, and I said, just out of curiosity, when did you sign up to become a fireman? Because I did it, or a person, 7 years ago, and she said, Wednesday.
Oh my God.
That is an example of my white privilege.
It's unreal.
It's just absolutely ridiculous.
It is.